It just changes round how you get healthy and how you get healthy skin.
We've been saying this for 15 years. So how can this help people with their skin? That's what people really want to know, isn't it?
So this idea that when you're in the shower, you need to wash all of these horrible microbes off your skin is totally flipped on its head. Actually, what you need to do is you need to...
Sam and Kit Bowen-Russell, who really took skincare into their own hands.
Twin brothers from the UK who are taking the skincare industry by storm.
Sam is a nuclear astrophysicist, and Kit is a geophysicist and author.
A Notre Dame grad and his twin brother are looking to revolutionize skin health.
The two launched a 2-year intensive research study.
Two very smart guys who knew all about bad skin at a very early age.
That woman at the end was our mum, and really she's the face which launched 1,000 questions for us.
We have a bit of breaking news that is very breaking in my eyes and our eyes. Well, actually, it's not breaking in the slightest. To us, it's not new or surprising, but to many people, this will be very surprising. So, the breaking news is an article has just been published called "The Invisible Microbes That Keep Us Healthy." I can't remember the subheading. But really, we can go into it, but very simply, it's talking about microbes, because everyone thinks of microbes as bad when you get ill, but it's talking about ones that keep us healthy and showing that they're actually really important for our health in general. Big news. We've been saying this for 15 years. So how can this help people with their skin? That's what people really want to know, isn't it? Not what the science is, what the ins and outs are. How can this help them?
Yeah, I think just to go back really quickly, a stage back, I think the article was talking about microbes in general. So the things we can't see, whether they be in our bodies, whether they be on our bodies or in the environment, they were talking about. That all of them, they're always there as part of the ecosystem to help us.
Of course.
And
so that's a good point.
Yeah, the article, the general premise of the article was to try and myth bust this idea that microbes are bad and bacteria is bad, because we always hear about germs and things like this in common media parlance, especially cleaning companies. There was a war on these germs at a certain stage. So the idea of this article, which again isn't groundbreaking, but they were trying to say, actually, look, all of these microbes, they're actually incredibly beneficial for our health and they protect us.
Right. So this is the first point where people might be surprised, which I would say is that you have these microbes, and you mentioned it, everywhere, in and on you. And so when you think of what this article is saying, the main premise is that these microbes in and on you could be vital for keeping you healthy. It completely changes the way we look about our health. So for skin, as with all of our research, these microbes, as we're showing in our research, are vital for our skin health and therefore against skin problems and diseases like we've seen.
Exactly, and that's a crucial point, because many people have this idea of microbes being bad, but actually we want to say they're there to protect us. They're part of the ecosystem just like us. So when you have the ecosystem is healthy as a whole, everything is living in symbiosis within that ecosystem. So everyone is in peaceful harmony, I think, is a better way of describing it.
Okay, so from that then, and I know we know this, but it's really good to relate it to people who have no idea, then this whole thing of destroying microbes, cleaning ourselves every single day, it starts to change the view on that into something different. So say if we have skin problems, how does this change what you do to help your skin problems or protect against them?
For me, it just changes round how you get healthy and how you get healthy skin. So this idea that when you're in the shower, you need to wash all of these horrible microbes off your skin is totally flipped on its head. Actually, what you need to do is you need to have a really thriving ecosystem on the skin. So all of this showering with these products containing huge amounts of chemicals, that could actually be disrupting this incredibly important ecosystem on our skin and causing a huge amount of health problems, which is what our research goes into, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we can't go into everything, but it shows that the goal here now is not to destroy and clean everything. The goal is to create the right environment on the skin and in our body. So for relating this back to, for people with, say, skin problems, a lot of these skin problems, again from our research, are linked with this damaged microbiome. So the microbiome is the system of all of those things on and in your body. And so this has also been linked to having used harsh synthetic chemicals daily in the shower. As we talked about last time, the Yanomami tribes people who never experience things like eczema, they don't use any of these chemicals daily. And yet they have far better skin than us. So the question there is, what are these chemicals that we're putting on our skin daily doing to our skin and causing? What are they causing on our skin?
That's a good question. I won't go too in depth into it because I know
it's more rhetorical to find the solution.
Yeah.
Because I know all of our research is about that.
Yeah, all of our research has been into that, how these chemicals could be disrupting this incredibly important ecosystem on our skin and the catastrophic effects that could be having, not just on our skin health, but on things like our brain health, our lung health, our heart health, and our gut health. So all of these things which we didn't associate with the skin could actually be massively impacted by these toxic chemicals we're using in the shower. And obviously, I won't go into it in too much more detail, but that's the main premise of it. I would say, Sam, though, when you go more into academia, people start talking about microbes as if they're good and bad. But again, the only thing I would say from all of our research is that that's another massive myth. We can do another podcast on this, but the myth that microbes are all bad, is wrong. And secondly, there's another myth within academia that microbes are either good and bad. And from all of our research, that's shown to be a myth as well.
Yeah, I think it's good to mention that. Let's not go fully into that because I want people to come away with just one point. So at that point, because I would say that the one point that people should come away from this is, or you can say it, but I'll say what I think the one point is. So the one point is that the ecosystem on your skin and in your body, but we're talking about skin, is vital for your skin health and therefore whether you have skin problems. And so if we're looking at destroying everything on your skin, this new article is showing how dangerous that could be for our skin health. And we want to do the opposite of that.
Well, you've just summed it up perfectly, Sam. So we can go into more depth on each of those points in the future. Not too much depth, obviously, but I think that's a great place to finish there.
I don't want any depth on these podcasts. The depth is in the papers.
Exactly. That's the point. If you want depth, then we have all of our peer-reviewed published research all available online. We also have podcasts like this, and for anyone who wants to be able to apply this to their skin, and go from a barren ecosystem to a luscious ecosystem, then we have our world's first Skin Microbiome Fitness Packages, where we take people through that process.